Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining. I'm County Executive Pat Ryan. Hope everyone is enjoying the beautiful Thursday afternoon here. I was just out and about grabbing a quick lunch in Uptown Kingston, and I think I saw more people out and about and just enjoying Phase 3 safely and responsibly, which is great. But it's just really nice to see us continue to get back to the new normal anyway, and to have more people out and about. And I hope you're doing the same safely. Today, we're going to do a relatively quick update, talk about the public health situation with COVID, which continues to be very good. And then we have an exciting surprise announcement to end, which I'm happy to get to share with everybody. And then we'll go on with our day. So starting with the numbers and the data, we are now a few days into Phase 3, and everything continues to head in a positive direction. All of the charts that should be going down are going down, and the ones that should be going up are going up. We have exactly 1,800 total cumulative positive cases since the beginning of COVID, and we have tested now 32,311 residents. So we're down now to a cumulative average of 5.5%. Again, we were well over 20 at the peak of this, so that is very good. We have also, throughout the week, thank God, not had any additional fatalities. So we are still at the number of 85 fatalities for the county. And we're over now 1,500, so 1,513 residents recovered from COVID. And you can see the trend lines are looking very good. As long as we stay on the current path, we are essentially at a flat growth trajectory on this total cases chart. So thank you, everybody, for your part in keeping it that way, and we want to, of course, continue to keep it that way. The hospitalizations chart and numbers, we love to see the downward trend there. We are, again, only have one individual in a hospital bed in the county due to COVID. And so that's the same as we were 2 days ago. And we're very hopeful that that gets to zero soon, and that individual wins their battle. We talked last week about one of our residents who fought for 10 weeks in the ICU and was able to come out and is now home with his family. So we wish the same for our fellow neighbor who's in the hospital right now. In terms of the active cases in the county, this one continues to go down. For the first time since very early on, we're now below 200 total active cases in Ulster County, 198 to be exact. Again, we hope that this gets to zero quickly, but this is the best that it's been, and we've had essentially almost 2 months now of downward trajectory on active cases as people continue to get better, as our healthcare workers continue to do their work, and our public health nurses and our whole team. We are still every day, our public health nurses contact those residents that are positive. We check in with them. We make sure they're doing okay if they need any help. That work is still going on. We're still doing all our contact tracing with any new cases. So we hope, of course, that we don't need to go backwards in any way, but just know as residents of the county that if we do need to pick things up, we have a much more robust capability now than we did during the beginning, and that's a credit to our whole team. In terms of the most important metric, as I always talk about, the number of new cases each day compared to the number that we're testing. We had a near record level of tests in the last 24 hours. We tested 838 residents. So thank you to all our residents that are going and getting tested. Please keep doing that. And of the 800 plus that we tested, we only had 2 new positive out of over 800. So that is a 0.23% infection rate. That is lower than it was 2 days ago. It's lower than the state average. I'm not sure how it compares to surrounding counties, but that's a number we should be very proud of. Both that we're getting a lot of testing done. That's very important, that if you are if you are thinking you might have been exposed, or of course, if you have any symptoms or just aren't sure and want to be tested, you can continue to go to our testing sites. We still have our 4 main testing sites open. All of the details are on our webpage, ulstercountyny.gov, or you can call our hotline. But it's very good that we have the testing number up, and it's, of course, good that we're only seeing 2 new positives out of that 800 plus. Final public health chart to share. I talked about this a little bit already, but just so everyone understands, in addition to the fact that right now we only have 1 in the hospital, which is great, we also retain very adequate surge capacity if needed in the near term, the long term, if we ever had to have more folks accommodated. And, you know, I'm sure many of you are paying attention around the country. We just saw today in Texas, the governor decide to pause their reopening and also start to re-ramp back up hospital capacity. I think it goes without saying, but I will say that is the last thing we want here. And I think looking at the data, that is not on the horizon right now. But if we don't continue to take the reopening seriously, if we don't continue to take COVID-19 seriously and remember how bad things were, we could find ourselves in that situation. So I often have to be the downer in the room, and I don't enjoy that, but I do think it's important that we recognize the numbers are low for a reason. This isn't magic. It didn't just happen. It's because of all of your work. It's because of our businesses that are safely reopening, that are completing their business safety plans. And it's because of every single resident wearing a mask, maintaining distancing, and washing hands. So let's keep that up, please. And thank you in advance, and thank you looking backwards for what you have done to get us here. Before I talk about the next, the surprise news that I promised, I do want to talk quickly about what's coming next. So we're now a few days into phase 3. We're more than a month into our reopening overall, and the next milestone in front of us is the final phase, which is phase 4. In the last 48 hours, we've been speaking with New York State about what will be included in phase 4 for reopening. And I know right now there's some concern and a little bit of confusion about specifically whether malls, movie theaters, and gyms will be included in phase 4. Right now, we don't know the answer to that. I wish that we did. I wish I could tell you that they were going to be. The state has some concerns about that. Myself and other county leaders and local leaders are engaging with them, trying to understand what those concerns are. I believe and we believe that we can open many of those sectors and businesses safely. So that's what we'll be engaging on and pushing on. But of course, we want to hear the concerns of the state and make sure that we are being safe and responsible. So I have heard, and we have heard from many business owners, whether they own a gym or a movie theater or mall, and we know that there's concern about that. So just know we hear you. We are working on that, and I don't know exactly when I can get you a final answer, but we will get, as soon as possible, we'll get clarity to everyone so that we can know what's coming and be as ready as possible. And I appreciate, not just on this issue, but just across the board, I appreciate everyone's patience, your understanding that this is pretty much new ground every day that everyone is trying to figure out. I believe in good faith. So we'll continue to work on that and keep you updated, hopefully by our next one of these updates, if not sooner, which will be Tuesday. We'll have more detail. And if we learn sooner, of course, we will let you know. So on to the exciting news. I will say on a personal note, one of my favorite holidays is Independence Day, 4th of July, fireworks and cookouts and hot dogs and celebrating our independence. And there were a lot of long faces at the Ryan household when we thought we weren't going to be able to have a normal or some kind of celebration to honor Independence Day. And I know many others felt the same way in the county. So we put our heads together, town leaders, our law enforcement leaders here at the county, and we for the last few weeks have been trying to figure out how could we do something safely, both to celebrate Independence Day and to honor our frontline workers who have been absolutely heroic over the last few months. So today, finally, we can announce that the weekend of July 4th, so Saturday, July 4th, and Sunday, July 5th, we are going to have a big multi-day Independence Day weekend and a salute to our essential workers. I think for a lot of us, it's going to just be a chance to finally have some sense of normalcy, to celebrate this holiday, to have a way to honor those that we thank every day in our updates, that we feel so much gratitude to, and just to kind of feel good and celebrate, which I know we're all looking forward to. So I am very excited that we're stepping up to do this. We're going to make it work. We're thinking through all the safety concerns and considerations so that we can do this safely and responsibly. So two key parts to this. The first, which is most near and dear to my heart, are the fireworks. So on Saturday evening, July 4th proper, we will have a community fireworks show. I especially want to thank a few people for helping to make this happen. So the law firm of Minetti & Minetti has stepped up in a huge way to help really to fund in its entirety this fireworks display for the community. And that is so awesome. We thank you guys so much for doing that, and we'll continue to thank you for doing that. I also want to thank the town of Ulster, Supervisor Quigley and Chief Berardi and all the folks in the town of Ulster who are going to help make sure that we can use our Tech City property and the lots out there to safely host fireworks for the community. We'll open up the parking lots, as you can see on the slide, at 7:30 p.m. The event is totally free, but the only thing we ask in exchange, recognizing we still are in this moment of COVID and risk, we ask everybody to stay in their cars for the fireworks and do not bring alcoholic beverages. We want to be safe and responsible while we celebrate. So those will be the only limitations, and it'll be sort of a first come, first serve. We'll be putting out more details about how it's going to work and directions and so on, but it's coming up on us quickly. So we did want to give everyone a heads up that we have been able to do this. And so thanks to everyone who's gotten us this far to make it happen. And we're really excited to do the fireworks on the 4th. Then the next day, on the 5th, we're going to be doing a countywide coordinated motorcade where each, or not every town, I don't think, but many of our towns are going to be organizing motorcades in honor of our essential workers. So within your town, if you haven't already, you'll be hearing details from your town supervisor or mayor, village mayor, or city mayor about what's going to be happening. But basically, it'll be a motorcade that'll proceed on a route through your town, and along the way, hope people can come out and cheer and honor and support all of our essential workers and frontline workers. And this is just a small way that we can kind of show and feel the gratitude that we have for everyone that's done their part. At the county level, we'll be participating in the motorcade in the city of Kingston, and I know Mayor Noble and his team have a great program put together for that, and we appreciate them letting us crash their event. And then we will be I will be featuring and recognizing a few special guests who really exemplify and typify the heroism and the selfless service of so many of our frontline workers. So again, more details to come on all that, but very excited to have a proper celebration to honor our independence and our essential workers. And thanks again to Minetti & Minetti for helping make the fireworks happen in particular. So to bring us back down to reality as we end today's update, I will make the same plea and the same ask that I always do, which is everything has gone so well. Let's keep it going. Let's not lose sight of the responsibility that each of us has for ourselves, for our families, and for our neighbors. please continue to wear a mask when you're out, to follow the 6 feet social distancing protocol, and to wash hands and use hand sanitizer. We know it works. We know it's been working here in New York because we took it seriously. And we know in places, unfortunately, where they didn't take it seriously, we're really starting to see a very dangerous backslide that could cost lives. And we cannot have that here. I'm confident we won't because of what we've been able to do so far. Also, we continue to work on Project Resilience. That continues to go well. Over 250,000 meals delivered and prepared. And our final slide, just to, I know I mentioned it in speaking about our weekend events on the 4th of July and Independence Day weekend, but thank you to everyone who has gotten us through this crisis, through this pandemic, or at least to the point we're at. We're not through it, but we're through the worst of it, we believe. And I just want to thank each and every one of you out there that has been a part of that is still a part of it. I also want to thank Radio Kingston for continuing to help us keep you updated, both on the radio and with these updates. I want to thank our interpreter team, Diane and Roxanne, as well as Manuel, and my whole team here. Our Ulster County team has just been absolutely remarkable, every single person. So we're going to keep working for you all. We will see you next week for our next regularly scheduled update, which will be Tuesday at 2 p.m. Thanks for tuning in. Stay safe, healthy, be resilient, and we will see you in a few days.